The great poet and mystic Kurt Cobain said something that stuck with me. They laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same. It sounds like rebellion, but really it's a battle cry for dignity. It's soul saying, you can't erase me or crush me into sameness. I am not a copy. I am not replaceable. And also, I don't want to be like you. You know, it took me many years to be able to understand this myself. Like so many of us, for so many years, I wanted to fit in, to be just like everybody else. And even though I knew I was different, I was trained to fold myself into the smallest prayer. Shame taught me silence, pain, my constant companion. So much of the world conspires against difference. It says, fit in, perform, pretend, don't be too loud, don't be too soft, don't be too queer, don't be too Jewish, too broken. We've pathologized the human condition. Too happy? There's a pill for that. Too sad? There's a pill for that. Lonely? There's an app for that. Oh, and buy this. But our tradition says the opposite. The Talmud teaches when human beings mint coins from one mold, they all look the same. But when God minted humanity from the mold of Adam, not one is like another. No two faces, no two souls. Therefore, every person must say, the world was created for me. You see, if you are different, maybe it's because God or the universe wanted or needed that difference. So I ask you, what makes us different? What gifts do we bring? How do we find out who we are? How do we shed what others think we should be? How do we reject the preconceived notions of others and grow those parts of us that are native just to us? It's not easy to answer. We carry wounds. I know some of us sit here tonight carrying heavy despair. The news is heavy. The world feels broken. And in our private lives, perhaps relapse, shame, grief, loneliness. They press down like stones, and as Jews, we look around, and it's rough out there. So what do we do? How do we respond to the call of the high holidays asking us to believe not in a fantasy world, but in a world renewed by tshuva, by return, by repair? How do we do it? How do we fight despair when despair feels so much stronger than joy? How do we begin, embrace, and commit to healing? These two questions, of course, are related in my mind, finding the self and healing the self. Because if you want to heal the world, you first have to heal yourself. If you want to lift the world, stand up whole. If you want to repair a creation, start with the shards of your own self in your own hands. We hear around us all the time, don't sweat the small stuff. And I think that's absolute nonsense. I believe in the exact opposite. Take care of the small thing. The large thing will sort themselves. And if you believe in God, let Him take care of the world. You, me, can only take care of ourselves right now, right this second. God is not in the infinity, but in the infinitesimal. I learned that from Rabbi Soloveitchik. So let's take a second and think, who am I, really, beneath the masks? Let's think about destiny. Why am I here? Not what's my purpose. Who knows? I don't care about that. But what is mine to do? What is my song to sing? The third question is not about perfection. It's how shall I live How shall I live one small choice at a time in ways that make my life accurate, aligned, alive? If you answer those with honesty, you will not just find your soul, you will begin to hear it speak back to you. Psychologist Viktor Frankl, survivor of Auschwitz, writes, everything can be taken from a person, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, joy, even in suffering, could not be stolen. This is not abstract. This is survival. My grandfather, my opa, was a giant of a man. Truly. Both physically, he was like me, but 6'4", and spiritually. More than anything, filled with tremendous joy, laughter, and song. He was also a survivor. I think many people here know that I grew up in an Orthodox home, led by him, the patriarch of my family. What most people don't know is that when he entered the camps, he was a secular Jew, a man of culture, but not of ritual. Certain that God was an echo of a childhood story. Yet in the abyss of the barbed wire, stripped of name and dignity, he heard fragments of psalms whispered in the barracks. He saw men share crumbs of bread while reciting Modeh Ani. Elie Wiesel writes about the faith in flames, but others, like Viktor Frankl, spoke of the soul's power to cling to meaning when all else is lost. In that crucible, my grandfather would talk about what was he discovered was a spark that survived every darkness in the people around him. So by the time liberation came, he emerged not only with scars, but with virtual tefillin. Not only with loss, but with the Shema on his lips. He went in secular and came out observant, not because he had resolved the problem of evil, but because he found God in the last place that he expected, among the ashes and in whispered prayers, in the stubborn insistence that even in hell, the Jewish soul can rise and sanctify life. He had encountered God in the most unlikely of places, in the refusal to let the sacred get extinguished. He grew up with that. I grew up with that. Immense joy woven through pain. And it taught me a lesson that keeps saving me. And it's the perfect time to talk about it right now, in this season of judgment and renewal. Despair is real. We name it. We don't pretend it isn't there. But we don't hand it the keys to our life. We answer despair with a decision to commit to joy. An act small, but the ultimate resistance. A political uprise. Joy. It's a great mitzvah to be joyous always, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov says, a man who knew great pain as well. Life is not always joyous, but joy itself is resistance. Joy is how we refuse to let despair win. But joy is not a mood. Joy is not naivete. Joy is a practice. Think of a Friday night table, or any table with loved ones. Sometimes it's filled with laughter, sometimes with tense silence, but the candles are lit anyway. The bread is blessed anyway. The song is sung anyway. That is Jewish joy. It is an act of will, a discipline, a choice. So what brings you joy? You don't know? Find out. A walk by the beach, singing, macrame, cooking, eating, travel, where? What's on your bucket list? Don't have one? Why not? Make one. What's your favorite poem? Do you know it by heart? Why not? Do it this week. What are you curious about? Let's start with that. But this comes with a warning. If you know what brings you joy, then in times of pain and you don't take an act to change it, you might be choosing suffering. Pain is mandatory. Suffering is optional. So let's practice joy. Not when we feel it, precisely when we don't. Sing the nigun when you're broken. Smile at a stranger, even when your heart aches. Gratitude, even in whispers, even in defiance. It's how you tell despair, you do not own me. Find something to say, something positive about. You don't need to change your whole personality. You just need to practice a smile, a song. Every day, one of my tasks, my personal task, is to find a bloom, something in bloom. Easy in spring and summer, much harder in summer in New York, in winter in New York. Every day, a reminder of growth and beauty, and I smile. I remember sitting with someone in recovery who told me, Rabbi, I don't think I know what joy even feels like. And I said, start smaller. Do you know what relief feels like? Do you know what it feels like to breathe for 30 seconds without fear? That's joy's first spark. Fan it, protect it, let it grow. Back to Kurt Cobain for a minute. When you mock someone's difference, you reveal what you fear in yourself. And the opposite is also true. When you honor someone's difference, you honor the image of God. So if you feel different here tonight, if you feel broken, if you feel outside, know that your difference is the holiest part about you. It's the doorway to joy, an opportunity for someone else to see the beauty in themselves. So let the world laugh at us. We will rejoice. Let them dismiss your struggle. We here will honor it. Let them demand sameness. We will light candles of difference until the whole sanctuary glows. And this year, God knows we all need that. We need Jewish joy, not the easy kind, the stubborn kind, the kind that sings even in exile, the kind that dances on Yom Kippur, the kind that builds Sukkot out of broken branches and call it holy. So I say to you tonight, be different. Claim your soul. Fight despair with joy. Each of you is perfect the way you are, and you can use also a little improvement. Let's lean into all of this. Joy, uniqueness, despair. Tell the truth about your pain. In Proverbs, we read, worry in the heart, speak it out. That's confession. Whether we do in a meeting or in a journal, it's the courage to name what is killing us inside. That's the first crack in despair's armor. Let's fight with radical honesty. Let's depathologize the human condition. Yes, there is pain, and I want not to mask or hide it. I want to address it. Share vulnerability. Share your difference. Share your weird. Share your bucket list. Let your freak flag fly. Speak it. Don't be afraid. Don't answer, how are you, with okay if it's not. Don't dump on the next person, but say, I'd love to talk more when not in passing if you have time, but commit to doing that. Then let's repair something small, not everything all at once, just something. Call the person you hurt, light the candle you skipped, show up at a meeting you want to avoid, repair one stitch, and suddenly the whole cloth begins to mend. Choose one thing, just one thing, every day. Choose joy. Be meaningful. Send the message to yourself and the world. My actions, every little one of them matters because I matter. I bless you. May you find the courage to tell the truth. May you find the strength to repair. May you find the joy that comes not after despair, but right through it. And may this year be a year where your difference is your gift, when your joy is your resistance, and when your life is the blessing that it was created to be. Shana Tova.